That's hard.
To
Yeah.
me, when I heard that, I understood so much more and I felt so much compassion for them because we take it for granted. I look in the mirror and I'm comfortable looking at me as a man, but I never really for a second took it in and thought to myself, they have people who, no matter how they dress, would never feel comfortable like looking like that.
That's scary.
And yeah, and so that's why I felt so much compassion for that community. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna try my best to always, be understanding and willing to learn more and listen to them and hear their story because I can't imagine going through that. And she just really made me love them even more. So that's why I want to bring her on because I think she has just so much compassion for that community, and I just want to hear more.
She's
I like that.
amazing.
Yeah. How does she get to know? Does she know somebody personally like that, or she goes through it herself?
I think somewhat she goes through it herself. She
Oh,
she
shit.
told me she told me
that's
that
a lot.
if she was brave enough, she would have transitioned to her. But like she doesn't feel that level of bravery yet. So
But then, what I'm confused about, right? When you be referred to them, is because you're really just you want to be a man and a woman in one. That's what it is, correct? Because I never. That's what it was. I don't understand it. That's why I want her to explain and educate, just like me. For a lot of people who need to get educated on what it is. So if she can explain what it is, so I can understand it, I'm willing to really listen to her and understand where she's coming from.
I think it's exactly what oh sorry, Travis, you'll probably be the better person.
Yeah,
But
it just seems like it just you don't wanna be classified as either or. So you
Right.
you choose them as a way to not be
It's a group.
and just
Correct,
conform
right.
to either
Okay,
or.
makes sense. Okay. I wish there was a way to help people like that, to be honest, because that's tough.
yeah, I can't imagine.
I still
That's
struggle
difficult.
to identify fully as a man because I still struggle. It's a huge struggle for me, and
Oh,
yeah, because
that's how people hear that.
whenever I
Why?
picture a man, I always think about the toxic men and toxic masculinity. So that's why I'm so ready for that podcast on toxic masculinity. Because I really struggle to find a secure identification for myself in being a man. Like when I can't resonate with the concept of a man that we currently have in society. I have to go and create my own. So
Aw.
that's what I'm working on these days in like my swaps and stuff.
Yeah.
Getting the most divine like God's truth of what a man is. That helps
Yeah.
me a lot. Because I was and actually a woman is teaching me this because she's more masculine like you and you. But
Okay.
she's showing me like divine masculinity is secure, is
Yeah, you don't worry about that toxic shit. Yeah,
is safety, is
It's just
feels
more
so
action
good.
oriented and straightforward.
Can I
And
can I
it's
can I
good.
just say can I just say, and I'm so sorry if I'm interrupting you,
No.
Travis. But to me, right, like I don't even like I know that divine masculine, divine feminine are like traits that people associate just to make things easier, that they say, okay, so we have both divine masculine and feminine in us and we have this and that and the other. But I am just like, if we have both in us, then why even call assign a gender
Masculine
to
and
the
feminine, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
like why can't it be divine feminine to be strong and to be secure and to be like, why are we still associating gender with attributes? I think that it just is to be human. To be human is to be strong and to be, like so as a man, I'm a man. And I don't necessarily like Travis. You were saying you have to define your own version of men because you're right now. When you think about it, you think about toxic masculinity, and I'm like, exactly. So let's create our own definition of what a man should be. Because I grew up in a family that, oh my gosh, Travis, press record, Travis, press record.
Did you record it already?
Oh my god.
Sneaky.
Are you killing me right
It was so good. I pressed record one time. 5 minutes
As a
ago.
man, right? as a man, I grew up in a family that told me if you're not playing sports, you're pussy, not cool, you're whatever, right? And I'm just like, at this point in time, I'm almost 30 years old. I'm like, you know what? Screw that. I am a man and I do whatever I want to. I set my own definition of what it means to be a man, and I'm not going to follow along whatever you define because that's your definition. And I should not feel like less of a man just because I'm not good at sports. I have no control over what I was doing as a child. I wasn't practicing sports. I grew to not be good at it. I could probably do things now to become good at it, but I don't want to. And why should I have to just to fit somebody else's definition? A man should be, and a woman, or whatever you want to identify as, should be whatever you define it to be. If you define it to be a certain thing, then that is good. Like, I'm a man and I like going on walks, I like reading, I like meditating, I like playing video games, I like cleaning up, I like doing whatever I feel comfortable. And you know what? I'm still a man. And I'm not going to let anybody else take away my manliness away from me just because I don't fit their definition of what a man is.
I love that so much. That was so beautiful.
Travis, you're killing me with this recording today, though. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts? I'm interested to hear your thoughts.
I think it stems from the patriarchy. However, the society was formed. They had certain rules, and we have to think back to history. And obviously, genders exist. We have a male and we have a female. It's in biology. It's in everything in life. We can't just ignore the fact. But however, as humans, we evolve, and we are not. We can decide that probably not as important as it should be, if that makes sense, right? However, they're going to have people who set in their ways. It's going to have them, right? It's going to have people who's like, I born in 1940 and a man supposed to be this. A man supposed to cook for the family. Let me cook for the family. Never mind. A man supposed to clean. No, never mind. A man supposed to work hard and the woman supposed to still cook, clean, and take care of the children. And that's his ideology of what Ned was. And it wasn't because and that's his ideology. You have to remember, out of respect for him, it doesn't mean his ideology is like that because he says like that. That is how the world was. Everybody that existed at that time just did that. However, we have evolved as a species, and now in 2023, it is now, we are more than just a male and a female, if that makes sense. I believe that we'll identify as more than just that. So now, yes, there's still two genders, right? However, they still have people who believe that shouldn't define them. And then we have to respect them and their views as well. That's just how I look at it. So if, as a man, I don't watch football, follow sports, and try to be like that, that doesn't make me less masculine. I 100% agree with Jared. It doesn't. Because masculinity could be defined in his own different way, what he defines it as. The attributes of masculine and femininity, agreed. We can all share it in one individual. I have masculine traits as a female. Some people were like, wait, you're real go-getter, you're real ambitious, you're real, blah, blah, blah. I'm in the IT field. Like, I work with men. Men mightn't like that. They get intimidated by that for some reason, especially if I'm really intelligent and I have good ideas or better ideas. They may take that to be their own ideas. And it's crazy because a woman not supposed to think like that. A woman not supposed to be so smart. And who are you to label me and tell me what I'm supposed to be? So it goes all the way back to that as well. It's a lot. It's a lot to encompass in this whole topic. But ignoring and trying to erase the fact that genders exist, I think that's going down a toxic path. I think we need to respect everybody. I think we need to respect that there are two genders, yes. However, that doesn't define me, and just take it at a different angle, a more conscious level, a more lighter level, versus let's erase that altogether and let's create these whole things. And no. That's going down a toxic road. You're looking for fight. That's just how yeah.
So I wanted to ask you guys, how you guys, based on that, right? How do you guys feel towards like being attracted to somebody who is less masculine? I want to know like how that works. Because I do like guys who are really masculine. I want to know, but I also do acknowledge that I also really, really want somebody who's really, really loving, nurturing, affectionate. So, for me, I like the balance, and I find the balance so healthy. How you guys feel about that? How you guys would like attribute your the balance of masculinity and femininity in somebody? How you like that ratio to look like?
Well, let me just start off and say I am 100% okay with not being attracted to somebody who's masculine. From my perspective. But all jokes aside, I like women who have a lot of ambition and drive.
Oh, sorry, let me not spill the tea here. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Was-
Yeah, so I like women who are very passionate and have something to say because I am very opinionated, but I also like having a nice debate. I think that, I like that challenge of if I need to prove my point or I need to be proven wrong, and I enjoy that. That really gets me going. So I like having a nice back and forth, and I like being with a partner who, meets that energy level. And because of that, I like a go-getter. I like somebody who has big dreams and then goes after them. And their mindset is always like, okay, what are we gonna do to get this done? And I have this in mind, and let's go after it. And I appreciate that feistiness, that drive, So I think that, but I also, to give credit to what you were saying, I also appreciate someone who is very kind, very loving. I want children, so I want a partner who has a lot of mothering qualities, who would make a really good mother, who would by whatever definition she considers to be a good mother. My definition of a good mother is just someone who is very supportive of their children, who always is willing to see that their needs are being met, see that they are well taken care of. And of course, I will do the exact same thing, but I want a partner who also could assist with that. And I don't have to ever worry about my child or children being endangered. So, and I think that saying that any certain qualities are definitively masculine or feminine, I think I just don't align with that. I just think that people are people, human beings are human beings. Like, just because I am, or society led me to believe that it's a masculine thing to be strong and secure and, not back down and be a provider. I don't associate that with anything because my mom worked. I grew up in a household where my mother and father both worked. And so my mother was also a provider. And so I think that it's both. It's not one specific thing. I think it's both. So I don't even think that of my partner, my current girlfriend, as having masculine and feminine traits. I think she's just her, and I love her. So.
Oh yeah, I see where you're coming from there in that angle. Because in the beginning, I was a bit confused. I'm like, listen, they have masculine and feminine traits because just like you need to define what a sky is, what the tree is, what a cat is, what a dog is, you need to define the difference because there is a difference. It's hands down. That's factual, right? However, that's why it's there. But I agree with you in terms of, look, we should transcend this. We should evolve. This should not define us as a person, and that doesn't mean we fit into a certain mold. It means we're human, we're complex. We will have a blended of each trait. I would have masculine qualities and I'm a woman or female. And I would have also some feminine qualities too. But I'm just Enya. Not nobody's gonna look at Enya and be like, oh, Enya is she masculine boy. She's a dyke. Nobody will look at me like that, really. Because I think I try to at least have a balance of them, and I do sway on the feminine side. And to answer Travis's question one time, as I'm already speaking, masculine, because Travis is like, could you be attracted to somebody who's less masculine, right? And no, I can't. I think by nature, when you already possess a certain balance or certain blend of that quality, it's just all up to matching with someone else who has a nice blend of their own cocktail that could fit into your mold. And then, okay, and that, for me, that looks like the guy being a little bit more masculine than I am, because I could be a little bit too feminine, if that makes sense sometimes. And I might be, different things. Like right now in my current relationship, I'm very conflict avoidant, and he pointed that out, and he in his own masculine go-getting, like, deal with the issue way, help me navigate through this conflict avoidant issue that I'm experiencing. And it's okay to have to confront conflicts in your life sometimes, and that's just how some things are. Some women they don't even need a man to tell them how to handle conflict. They're like, I will deal with this. I will deal with this person. I will yell at this person. I will handle this one time. Like, some women do that, and that's amazing. To me, that's admirable. But I lack that quality because of my upbringing and how I've been molded in this life so far. I'm afraid. I don't want to fight. I just want peace. And literally, I've settled into that to the point where that's where my fluidity of my existence is like, I just want to be happy and at peace. I don't want to try and fight you. So if you're doing something that upset me, I'll take it. That's the pushover here. Oh, I'll just take that. I'll just take it over and over and over. And then it's like, oh, well, that's a problem, because now you're unhappy. And like, well, how are we gonna, we have to deal with this, so that's good that my almost said husband, oh my god. That's good that my boyfriend has those qualities, because that helps me. It helps balance me out, if that makes sense. So now, if he was less, okay, so now let me explain a bit deeper here. If he was less masculine, I would describe that as masculine, by the way. Some people might not, but I do. But anyway, if he was less masculine, right, and he was more on the feminine side and more like, oh, yeah, babe, this is ridiculous. And like, all we will just do is gossip about it. Because, yeah, if I go to my girlfriend, basically all we're going to do is gossip about it and talk about how shitty my situation is, or how shitty. And that's all women do. Sometimes they just gossip, they complain, and they like whine, and they're like, oh, this is so crappy. Oh my God, I can't believe I did that. And we don't take action to address the situation or put ways to have healthy conflict resolution. We don't do that. However, my masculine helped with that. My masculine stepped up, and he was like, this is how you handle it. You write down points on a paper, you have a meeting, you go and talk to this person. If you need me to be there, I will be there with you. And that is how things, for me, that is how I needed that type of balance in my life. Because my ex, and I hate to compare, but my previous experience in a relationship probably would have never been that. It probably would have been us in bed just whining about it, complaining on how horrible things are, and how we don't want this, and how this sucks, and then we just be depressed and we just be sad. And that is what my less masculine ex and I did together. And that's how I know for a fact that I wasn't fully attracted to that, hence the word ex, because it didn't work out between us. And well, for multiple different reasons, but one of them for a fact was that I just, it felt like I just had a girl best friend. I didn't feel like I had somebody who actually tried to actively resolve issues with me, or take action in a specific way that actually made me feel safe. And that was a big indication for me that, hey, wow, you really can't really be with somebody less masculine. You need somebody more masculine, because you are less masculine in your own way. You may be ambitious, you may be, stuff, but yeah, a lot of people might be that, especially. But when it comes to my innate being, I innately want to be feminine. I innately want to be soft. I innately want to be, peaceful, docile, if you want to say that, right? But again, for attraction purposes, I need somebody to balance that for me, and that doesn't mean that I just don't want to be forced into something else, because I feel like if I was forced to be something else and forced to be controlling, forced to be masculine, forced to try to take action, I would get less attracted to that person, because I feel like they're not bringing out the side of me that I want to rest in. And that's where I think it lies. What do they entice in you? Are you being true to yourself? What do you truly want to be like? And there is where that lies for me.
Yeah, I love that so much, Enya. Thank you so much for sharing that. That was so beautiful and so powerful, and you answered all three of my questions there. So thank you so much for sharing that with me. I wanted to ask you guys more on if you want to share more what your masculine and feminine side looks like. And to help answer that question, I also wanted to ask you guys, well, first, if I could say I really enjoyed what you said as well, Jared. It was so beautiful that you just see past it and you just see a human being who just deserves love. I wanted to ask also in bringing in the power of intentions here, how does your intentions how do your intentions help you to shift to shape your masculinity and femininity? If I could just say, so for me, right, I've been in my feminine my whole life, right? I've just gravitated towards women and the way that they do healing, because that works for me. That's what healed me, and so I've always gravitated towards love. I definitely believe my purpose on this planet here is diving into love and coming home to love. So for me, that is a quote unquote a feminine thing, And for me, the distinctions here help me to understand how these different energies work. It's very different energies, Feminine energy is very flowing. It's very free. It doesn't really have a direction. It just seeks to love, embrace, and share compassion. Whereas masculine energy, so I've been fully about that life, but I really struggled. I really, really struggled to put my foot down and create follow through with tough decisions in my life. But I'll share some, and guys could share some as well, in which my masculinity really helped. So the power of intentions helped me here to enforce these intentions through ensuring that I always rise above any toxic situations and circles I'm in with friendships. This really, 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 really helped me to not get sucked in by other people and their toxic behaviors and patterns, and to not stay in toxic circles with friends, family, whoever the hell it is, right? That really, really helped me to go beyond that and to constantly keep shooting to become a higher vibrational human. That is that's how I followed through, with that. So I wanted to ask you guys as well, how, like Jared, how did this look for you? More on this, the same thing.
Okay, so I just want to start off by saying that once again, I just really don't align with calling any type of energy. I agree that it's two completely different energies and it's two completely different way of being a human being, but I just don't align with it being called a divine masculine, divine feminine, or masculinity and femininity. And I know that history has a part to play in it, because historically women, as they're the ones that were the child bearers, they would typically have established a deeper bond with the children and therefore stayed at home and taking care of them. And the men would typically go out and bring back food. So historically, the men were seen as the ones who would go and gather, and therefore were ambitious to go after certain animals, and they were strong because they had to be strong in order to go and do this or survive the elements to go and do this, whereas the woman stayed home. So they were attributed more with a loving, nurturing energy. But I think in 2023, that kind of belief is used more so to keep people in certain boxes and to kind of like shame women, saying that, for example, you are not a real woman because you are too aggressive. You're going after in the workplace. You're going after this too high. You're getting on like a man. You're not a real woman. And it's used to shame women, but it's also used to shame men. To shame men who maybe just want to like show their love and appreciation for life and be called not a real man. Like you're acting like a woman, you're acting like a pussy, whatever. Like, so that's the energy that defining certain traits brings to me. So that's why it doesn't resonate with me. It brings a lot of shame to people just being people. It's a person.
By the way, that is toxic masculinity and toxic femininity. Whenever you try to put somebody in a box and you don't like acknowledge
but you are doing that. You are putting things in a box when you're saying that is a masculine trait and this is a feminine trait. That's a box. You're boxing.
No, but
you're boxing somebody's belief into something.
Right, but I'm not necessarily doing that because I believe that him, which is Braden, he can have feminine qualities as well, and myself, I can have masculine. I believe that you and the feminine and masculine could have both qualities. I was just saying, for me personally, in my preference, because the question that Travis proposed was, could you like somebody less of that masculine, like less masculine? I can't, because I already possess those qualities. I already possess certain, just like you can't like somebody that is very masculine. Could you get with a super masculine woman like that's 100% masculine? No.
But why are we labeling women as masculine? Like, let's just call her a woman. Let's just say she's an ambitious woman, or she's a woman with a lot of drive, or a woman with a lot of whatever. And I do love ambitious.
But she might not necessarily be ambitious too. She might just be more, because I'm ambitious, but I'm not masculine, if that makes sense.
Well, let's stop labeling things as masculine and feminine. Let's just say I'm ambitious, I am passionate, I am loving, I'm strong. Let's just use those words. Let's stop defining it and boxing it as, or I'm a masculine woman, or I'm a feminine man. Let's stop. That's confusing to me. Let's just use the actual verbs and the traits and the attributes.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. I don't mind not using it. However, I would have been confused too, not using it, because I'm like, okay, how do I define this then? That's honestly what we're going to. Yeah.
But I feel
it helps to a point, but I get what he's saying. I get that we shouldn't box each other in and stuff like that. But it's like, then what do I say? And that's honestly where my mind went to. It's like, how do I describe this? It comes like the same. Let's not call a tree green. The tree is just a tree. I'm like, yeah, I get that, but then the tree is green though. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I'm looking at it. It's an adjective.
And I mean, like, I guess it just like we can agree to disagree on the labeling aspect of it. Like, I think that once the intention is not to shame the person, that's all that matters.
Of course, yes.
But
yeah, I agree.
So to answer Travis's question, sorry, Travis, I got lost in that. Can you just repeat your question one more time?
Yeah, I first asked if you wanted to share any more of what I did want to say what a more your feminine and masculine sides look like. And the second one was how you use the like, I guess, the power of intentions to help shape these sides of you.
Okay, so both of those energies, I think, show in that I think on one side, based on your definition, the masculine side of me, it feels that strong urge to be protective of my kin, of my family, of the people I care about, to do all that I can, if need be, to go all out to be protective of my family. I also feel that drive to support them in different ways. So whether it be financially or in terms of making sure that they feel secure to make certain decisions, or backing them up, or championing them. I also feel like it comes out in my passion when I have something to say. I don't necessarily like backing down. I like, making my point known. Even if people disagree with me, at least they know where I stand. I like to be I like exploring and learning new things and going after things that make me feel excited. Um, I think that there are times that my passion could be a little too much and I could come off as a bit overbearing at times. So that's probably one of the negative traits that I have. Um, but yeah, but I think I'm also very well established in the other energy or divine feminine, as you always say, because I also have a lot of love to give. Like I love just making sure people feel like empowered, just being themselves, and I love expressing myself creatively. I love being in my garden around my plants and um, expressing my creativity through making a nice layout or designing something that looks, pretty. I also enjoy. I'm getting into because I live my own. I enjoy uh, keeping my house at a certain level and bringing people over and making them feel they know that this is a safe space for them to share and empowering them in that way and just loving and giving people a safe space. So yeah, I think that's how my both sides come out. Um, and I think that I do love people just being themselves so much that it could sometimes be seen as letting people walk all over me because I have been called a simp before just because I
Oh
was
my
too
God.
nice. I was too nice to certain girls and like letting them. But I think that there's nothing wrong with. I don't think it's a simp to let people
I think
express their opinion and just be. I think that's toxic
no. I think a
masculinity.
sin. I'm sorry. Have me a sin? Oh my God. I think a simp. A definition of that is someone who ditches. Like, so you would have friends and you have a life and you have a specific type of um you know, you have a life. Before you were single, you would go out with the brothers probably once for the week, or your sisters. You go out with whoever you want to hang out with, and you hang out with them, and you spend time, and you have relationships that you would have upholded before this person entered your life. And now, when they do enter your life, you like forget about everybody. You forget about your parents, you forget about your family, you forget about the friends that you used to hang out with, and you basically cancel all invites because they're inviting you to still go out for the movie or still go out to watch the game or whatever it is you guys do, and you just like, nah, I'd rather just stay home and be with my girl. Yeah, I get that. I get you want you love your person and you want to be, but you have to remember that you have some life before that and you should honor that too, and it's called healthy space, and it creates an environment where it allows the girl to miss you and stuff like that. And like, that's what simping is. Basically, simping is like only being so addicted to the idea of being in love or being around the person that you love that you've just completely neglected life that you had previously before. That's what a simp is. So it's not a simp
Yeah.
to be nice to a woman. That's just somebody's just that's toxic. Yes, it is.
Yeah, and I agree, and I think that giving people the space to express themselves, and even if it means telling men to sometimes shut up and let the lady finish her point,
The woman
like,
talk, exactly. Yeah.
I think that is what more men need to start doing. They need to start calling out men more and
Agreed.
not being afraid of
Agreed.
being called a simp.
Agreed.
So to Travis's second question about how do my intentions play into this, I think my intentions come through because I think it's all about goal setting and it's all about what you want to achieve. So at the beginning of anything that I do, I like planning out in my head, okay, this is what I plan and intend to do for today. This is what I want to achieve. And I try to set, sorry, my phone's going off. I try to set the intention for what I'm trying to achieve that day or in that moment. So, for example, at the beginning of this podcast, when I was thinking about what I wanted to do and how I want to achieve it, my main goal was to make everybody feel like this is a safe space where they could come and listen to us talk and feel included and think to themselves, okay, I could resonate with that. And I think that this applies in some aspect of my life. And even if that they didn't exactly know what we were talking about in going in or have any idea what we we're going to talk about, that they could somehow have a takeaway that improves their life in some way. So that was the intention I really set for that. And how I use my traits to bring that out is by being passionate about my point or what I say, because I think that even if one of you two don't resonate with what I'm saying, that there will be somebody out there who thinks, oh, I never thought about it that way, or I like that, or I'm gonna start to use that. Or on the other opposite end, I want to empower people and you guys to feel like your points matter. And I might challenge it at times. I know I challenge it, but it's just because I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to bring out that point from you guys even more and allow you guys to probably even change my mind if I don't necessarily agree. So
Right.
that's how I use the power of intention to bring about my traits.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Travis.
That's interesting. Huh.
Yeah, so my next question is, and thanks so much for sharing these points, guys. The next question is, so I wanted to know how to navigate this spectrum in terms of going beyond a label. I think the primitive part of the brain is what really tries to label everything as a means to understand it. So it does help because and I think there's healthy and unhealthy parts of both masculinity and femininity. Like for example, toxic parts when it's unhealthy, and when it's really healthy, it becomes a divine expression of it. That's why it's called the divine, masculine, feminine.
Masculine and feminine,
I
But
wanted to.
also,
Mhm.
I wanted to interject and just about the point with the toxic, right?
Mhm.
You have to remember most of the time people get too attached to it and there's a stigma that gets attached to it, and it goes not just in masculinity and femininity, it goes as well, it falls into the category of body shaming and getting upset with somebody who's probably a little bit obese because they are on the heavier side of things. You shame them because you label them as lazy or whatever it is you would say to judge them as. They have no self-discipline, they just like to overeat, they're greedy. A lot of stigma gets attached to bigger people for that reason. And
So true.
yeah, because it's crazy, right? But and some people feel justified in doing that. Just like people feel justified in, like, as Jared was saying, I think it's the stigma that Jared hates more than anything. I don't think it is the actual descriptions of masculine and feminine, because you can have a masculine and feminine description without having a stigma to it. Because as I say, it is what it is. But if there's a stigma behind that, and you're like, all right, if he masculine, that means he had to be this stigma. Or if she feminine, that means she had to be that stigma. And then if you're not that, then you're stigmatizing the whole experience. Like, oh, he's a feminine man or she's a masculine woman. And that is crazy. That is like calling, as I said, it have the stigma behind it that might have a negative, comes from a negative space, and it comes from shaming somebody for no reason. For what? And that's why at the end of the day, I see where he was trying to come from when Jared was saying, look, let's just be watching and referring to each other as humans, because at the end of the day, you don't watch a stranger on the street, and say this person is masculine, but you don't really do that. You just look at them and say, oh, this is an interesting person. I wonder what they're like. You really just want to get to know the person, because there's more to somebody and a human than masculine and feminine, because they may have both, and the personality transcends that. The personality would go on as if they're funny, because there's more to that. They could be funny, they could be sarcastic, they could be mean, they could be kind. There's so many other attributes and adjectives that could define a person, not just a masculine or feminine. And people who stigmatize that, like, the podcast, the toxic masculinities and that misogynistic ideology, and overly feminine stuff too is a little bit toxic as well, because it gives into the whole misogynistic ideology. That's the problem. That's the problem. There is that you are now telling people, hey, if you're not like this, then something's wrong with you, and that is toxic in itself, because you are not supposed to tell a human being who should be defined by more than just one thing that something's wrong with them just because they're not. Because when I listen to Jared describe what makes him who he is, he didn't just necessarily describe masculine and feminine, he described himself. And I find it was so beautiful to hear, oh, I like to garden, I like to do many different things. And to me, that doesn't take away from him being a man. I don't think it does at all, to be, and quite frankly. And you know how I know that? Because I know if his woman comes to him today, right now, in this moment, and have a problem, he'll want to address that. He'll want to take action towards that. And, you know, same. The woman will do the same thing. It's the same thing. Like anytime somebody, and that's how you know you can't really necessarily define certain things in one way, because a woman will do the same too. My person call me right now, my masculine gonna kick in, and I'm like, I had to fly up to Colorado, because right now in Colorado, I had to do something, right? And you know, that's very masculine of me, but it will kick in, you know, you and then again, that's why you can't define one person. That's where I agree with Jared. You can't define one human being as that, masculine or feminine, because it's not accurate, because they're not just that. They're also kind, they're also mean, they're also funny, they're also beautiful, they're also, you know, there's a list of descriptions that you can give to somebody else. That's just one of them. They may have a predominant, or they may be resting in that energy predominantly right now. Like predominantly, I might just feel feminine in this moment. But next 2 weeks, I might feel like, hey, I had to go on like fucking, I had to go on kind of rake something in the yard, or I had to go and paint, and, you know, I had to build something. I'm going to build a shelf, you know, like,
Yeah.
who knows?
And
You
yeah,
know, you may, yeah.
I
Is it
love.
okay?
I
That's so beautiful.
so much.
Is it okay if we ask right now? Why are we so afraid of labels? I mean, to move past beyond labels, and what can we do now? You know, to move beyond it.
Okay, so I just like to start off by saying, Enya, I appreciate and love so much of what you just said. I really resonated with everything, and it just is, you know, like this is exactly why I think conversations like these are important, you know, like it's okay to have different views, and it's okay to even come away with different views, but at the same time, I think that it's just the sharing of knowledge, because there's sometimes be some things that you say that I didn't consider, and I think that there's sometimes I say things that you didn't consider, and you know, this is how we move forward. You know, both of us, we are very passionate about our points, but we also teach and learn from one another. So
Right.
I love these discussions, and we don't have to. And I think that this is why we differ from people who are like those misogynistic podcasts who just bring on women to shame them and
Yeah,
hate on
bring
them.
them down, make them
Yeah.
look like fools, and asking them all these personal, invasive questions that have
Exactly.
absolutely nothing or none of their business. Why are you dipping your nose into that? To prove what point? That you hurt so badly deep in your heart, you know, and you just want to spread your pain all over the internet like a work of black art or something.
And
Well, it
then
doesn't have to be black art,
when the
but you
women
know what I
call
mean.
them out and get
Yeah.
the best of them, they throw them off and then insult them even further. when
And
they-
yeah, right. You go in attack mode. You go in attack mode because somebody told you, you know, you're not making any sense. So
And you're
you
not
decide to
special.
belittle them and say, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about."
And then you're just a stupid whatever.
Well,
But anyway,
to be, you know, peace be with them, and hopefully, eventually, they can heal that wound. I wish them healing. That's what I do, because at
exactly.
the end of the day, it really is. You can clearly see, and a lot of people, especially if you're a psychologist and you look at those channels, you would realize this person is in pain,
And
and it's
insecure.
kind of embarrassing. Yeah, it's like, ooh, this is
Insecurity,
a mentally unstable person doing these things right now. So yeah.
So Travis, to answer your question about how I think, you know, like, well, I think the first part was why are we afraid of labels? I don't think it's that I'm afraid of a label per se. At least I don't look at it that way. I just think it starts to become so confusing when I say, for example, oh, I am a man who has divine masculine and divine feminine traits in me. I'm just like, why go through all of that extra? Why just not say that I'm Jared, I'm a man, and I enjoy doing this and enjoy doing that? Like, why do we need to put a label on it? Why do we need to understand exactly every like try to put people, like group them together in certain ways, because to me the only reason that you would use a label is if you were trying to group me with other people. But is that your intention, to group me with other people that I have traits similar to you and Enya? If that's the intention, then fine. Yeah, we are. There are many other groups we fall into that I think we could identify each other as. But that specific label, to me, I think because it is used in a toxic way, and because I just don't think it's necessary, that's why I think that I don't necessarily align with that label. But it's not that I'm afraid of it, it's just that I don't think it's necessary. How do we move forward, and how do we try to associate? I think, honestly, I think it's about using the attributes, and let's talk about the attributes. Like, I like the word ambitious. I like the word passionate. I like the word charismatic, funny, kind, nurturing, and like, I know not all of them are associated to a certain like label, but like when you hear those positive words, like you think about a specific label. But my thing is, women and men are on any and everything and every other identity fall within those categories. So why put a label on? Okay, so here's how my brain sees it, right? I know I'm kind of rambling here, but you know how in Spanish you have certain words like chair, right? Why is so chair in Spanish is la silla? Why is that a female word? like it's a chair, it's an object. Like, my brain doesn't understand why a person would label that as a feminine word. And somebody might say, well, it just is what it is. But just similar to people might say, okay, nurturing is associated with a feminine trait. Like, why do we have to associate it with that? Why can't we just say it's a human trait to be nurturing? I think all humans, to a certain extent, have a level of nurture in them. Even the most hardcore people have at least one person that they at one point in their life cared about. So I think that it's not necessarily a feminine or masculine trait to have certain things. So I think what we need to do, how we move forward, is just call a spade a spade. Just call a chair a chair. Like, let's not put masculine or feminine like label on it. And I think that the like similar communities feel the same way too. Like, we don't need to label this person a man or a woman. They are John, they're Mary, they are Isis, they're wherever else. Like, let's stop defining and putting people into a box. Like, let's identify why it is we have these boxes, and let's just like do away with the box and just call a spade a spade. So I think from in my purview, and I am willing to work with and hear other points of view as well. But I just think let's do away with the labels. Let's just call it what it is, Let's just stop trying to boxify everything. And I can't remember the third question you had.
Oh,
Travis?
sorry. No, that was it. It was mostly that. I was definitely more referring to society. Like why society is more afraid to move beyond labels. I don't think you are afraid of labels. I love the way you express that with so much love, to embrace humanity. I think
I have a question.
Hmm?
I have a question.
Mhm.
I would say probably the wording is here a little off here. I feel it. So what about, instead of saying afraid of labels, why don't we say triggered by labels? Because probably sometimes I get triggered when certain people label me or call me certain things, and that's the truth. I'm not afraid of it. I'm not afraid of what they say or what the label is, but it triggers me. It gets me upset, or it gets me emotional, whatever emotion. But yeah, I'm not sure. I like that what you just brought up about society, and and labels and the obsession with it. We have some kind of weird obsession with it. Maybe that's something I would like to actually finally understand. But I'm still figuring it out. But I do know that people get triggered by some. People do get triggered by certain labels. They do. And it because it hurts. And I think we all probably need to sit with that and do some probably shadow work and try to figure out why. And get to the bottom of it in our own responsibility for our own healing.
Okay, so I want to ask Travis this, right? And Travis, I want to hear your answer,
But
right?
I love and I love the way Enya put that. It was so much better. That was the correct word there. Triggered.
Yeah, and it's exactly why I'm going to ask Travis this. So, Enya, props. Okay, why are some men afraid of, so some closeted gay men who may not even be accepting of their feelings yet, why are they afraid to accept that they are gay?
Will you repeat that question, please?
Okay, so why are some men who are gay or who are attracted to men, why are they afraid to admit, even to themselves, that they are gay? Like, so there may be multiple reasons, but what is like the most common reason in your opinion?
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's because of being afraid of it not being accepted by society. That's the number one reason. And based on what Enya said too, is why we're so triggered is because these labels and ways of being is what is based upon what society values. They only
Right.
value. We live in a heavily toxic society which only
Right.
values these masculine, how to put it on, these masculine things where, your success, your fame, your labels, your position in society, your level of
Power.
success, power, they only recognize these physical, tangible things. And, that's, it's much harder to find space for anything else of substance that we would, yeah.
So imagine growing up, being your whole life, being told that you're a boy, you're a man, you are gonna dress this, you're gonna do this, you're gonna be like this. And then all of a sudden, just because you feel how you feel, you are afraid to feel that way because society, you're seeing people being victimized and being told off for that same exact thing. It would make you, it would trigger you because it would be like, okay, I am not allowed to feel how I feel because I don't want to be treated the way how this person is treated. I don't want to be called less of a man because I enjoy gardening or doing this or being nurturing and loving. So to me, the toxic masculinity and the toxic femininity is really what eroded at those labels and made it triggering for people to just feel how they want to feel. Like, I should feel empowered being called having divine masculine, divine feminine traits, but it because I grew up and was socialized to believe that I am a man, and if I'm anything less than a man, I am wrong for being that way. It's triggering, and it's the toxicity is what took away from it. So I think that is why going forward, labels is such a dangerous thing because we were socialized, because of the ingraining of these toxic traits. The labels are what are dangerous because these labels were used to hate and to persecute and to execute so many people just for feeling how they want to feel. And I think that, you know what, we're never going to fully get rid of the toxicity. So the best thing to do is to get rid of the labels. Let just people be people, you know?
Yeah, I love that. And I feel like we're all on this worthiness journey because
I have a thing to respond when you're done. When you're
yeah,
done.
no matter, like we're all on this journey where we're kind of unsubscribing from society's rules of what to be, who we should and shouldn't be, and it's because these things created so much unworthiness within us, and we finally come into this healthy space where we get to come home to who we truly are.
Yeah. Imagine like women who just enjoy playing sports with being called dykes and butchers just because they enjoy playing sports. Like, just for being who they are, they were shamed. So like just
Right,
remove the
right.
label.
But the feminine movement fought a lot to kind of have it to the point where we have this equal, at least to some extent, because it still has the issues that some they face, but at least equal. Like, it's okay. It's okay for a girl to wear pants. It's okay for girls to vote. It's okay for these things to happen. And yeah, that's a long stretch that we came from as a society. However, I think we still evolving, and I think we still need to reach to that point where the labels don't matter. A human is a human, and it's more of a what you bring to the table kind of thing. And I do feel like if you really like sit down and contemplate about it and say, like, really, why does it matter? Why does it matter if you're skinny, or if you're tall, or if you're butch, or if you have a BBL, or why does these rich, powerful? Why do these labels matter? And we have to, let's be honest, there's a lot of people that lack it. And when you lack something and you live within a lack mentality of that thing that you desire, the person that possesses it, you admire. So who else in this world? We have a very 1% of people have most money. 99% of them have not as much. Just have the middle class and have some, regulars, and then have a lot of people probably poor. Probably 60%. Let's say 60% of the world is poor, right? Struggling. So obviously there is a long way to come. I think when more people shift on the side where they are more accomplished, and more people move into this space, and yes, that is possible, because they have people walking around out here thinking the world gonna stay the same. They're thinking that everything going to remain as is. They're thinking that not everybody could be rich, because that's scarcity. That's a lack mindset. If you walk around thinking that everybody could be rich because money is a resource that is ran out of one, you can run out of money, or you can run out of this, you can run out of that. That is lack mentality, and honestly, that mentality is not in alignment with the high vibration of abundance, and what this world is really about. And it's a lot to unpack there. That's a whole topic by itself. But if just with that one point, right? If you're walking around thinking like that with somebody who have and you don't have, without, you would look at them, and it stems from a jealousy. And that's where the labels will come. And that's where society will pressure you, because society you will favor a rich person over a poor person. You may favor a skinny person over a fat person, because the person who is of that size, who is not truly happy, it all boils down to how honest you are, to your real honesty in your heart, your pure honesty. Are you really triggered by the label because you lack it? Is it something you lack and you wish you had and you just can't have? Is that the truth? If that's not the truth, then that's something else. But if it's the truth, that is why society, like, I might be mad that I'm not skinny, because I'm not. I'm chubby, and I live in a reality where I wish I was something else. Now, that's labels again, and that's me obsessing, and then society obsessed. Like, we favor all models, skinny models. We favor this beauty standard. We favor this level of having money so you can travel and do all these cool things. And then, we favor this. We favor this type of politics. We favor that. Like, it's all a lot to encompass, So that's what I believe. I just look at it like that. I think it goes deeper on a psychological level individually, and why you'd be triggered by certain things and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, and if I could add, that is so, I'm so appreciate everything you said there, Anya. And if I could add to that what you guys also said, going deeper here, to look at it even further, the soul has no labels. The soul just put together whatever experiences it needed to go through in this life. It found itself in a body. It just chose this body as a vessel to enact the lessons in this lifetime, So it really was just an expression of energy. Even God is an expression of energy without labels. Like the energy of love just has no labels,
Yeah, I think we we get so trapped up in this label that we kind of miss out on identifying the person themselves, because I think that it's another problem I have with the box mentality. It's just that, we take away a person's individuality when we put just a label on them. We label them as one specific thing, and they aren't. They're diverse.
I like that. Yeah. But
They're
then that's like physical judging, right? Because you might just watch me and say, "Wait, boy, she chubby," and then that's nobody knows me more than that. That's all they could see, though. They don't know me. They will just see me at a distance and see me chubby. That's it. But then that would deter them from wanting to get to know me. Y'all ever think about that?
Yeah, you're right.
Y'all ever think about if people will judge me and say, I don't want to be friends with her because she not looking like the beauty standard. So that means I wouldn't really go anywhere or go far with her. They will judge me how I look and they don't want to get to know me because they will think I just lazy, I not fun, I like to eat too much.
But
That's
you see,
it. Imagine that.
That's the problem with the label of fat, because the fat label it encompasses so much negativity into. You can be fat for multiple different reasons. There are plenty fit people who are chubby, who are fat, and they could run, they could do physical activities, they take good care of themselves, they eat healthy, but they look chubby. And people encompass the label fat with unhealthy, they encompass it with lazy, they encompass it with they're
What?
not
Yeah.
willing to try hard, and all kind of negative stigmas, when the fat label could mean so many different things. They could be trying their best, but because of genetics, they are going to remain chubby. They
But
could be.
listen, right? Yeah, they can be big boned and they curvy, and that's by default. And I think you should accept your body as is, no matter what. However, I do believe you need to be honest. And if you are unhappy with the way you look and you are low vibrational and you want to shift the energy into something else, then you need to take the necessary action steps to do so. I don't believe in just trying to feel sorry for yourself or just lying about it, because you can go to the extreme of just being delusional and be like, I don't care, this is okay, I'm going to stay the way I am forever, not try to initiate a change to shift your reality to say, hey, you know what, maybe if I really do cut down on some dairy, maybe if I cut back on the carbs and eat more protein, or maybe if you need, oh, like, you know what, I don't want to eat the meats, I feel sorry for the animals, let me just do vegan, let me see what that's like. It will be a challenge because it's something new and it's not what you're used to. However, it will initiate and shift change. It will start, because I believe 80% diets is changing. This is just for this specific situation, right? Right? But then who are you? My thing is, who's you, a complete stranger who knows nothing about me, to look at me and just judge me and say, yes, yeah, I might feel low vibrational. Yeah, I mightn't feel all up to it. I might feel a little bit left out because I mightn't feel like I can fit into certain clothes or take certain type of pictures. And, not, yeah, it have all of that aspect in it. But who are you as an external person to judge me, right? And tell me that I'm not going to go too far just because of the way I look in
That's
that
the
moment.
problem. That's the problem with the label mentality. That is
Yeah.
exactly it. That when you put labels on people and when you have labels in society, that you group people into boxes. If you decide for whatever reason to eat healthier and to work out more and to be motivated, that's an individual decision. That's an
Yeah.
individual choice. You
Like,
make that
Jared,
decision.
you ever saw how people respond to a really, really overweight, like heavy chick, a person who is big and a person who's with a fit partner? You ever see how people judge those couples? The society is strict, like that's something wrong. You see a couple in love, the person is plus size, but the husband is handsome and fit. And some people bothered by that. That is make people uncomfortable. And why is that so? That's my problem.
Boy, I really don't understand. Like, I was walking in the street with somebody the other day, and they saw a couple, and according to them, the lady was very good looking, and the man was not so good looking, according to them, right? And they were like, I don't understand how girls like that is be with them, and this and that. Yeah, he must have plenty of money. I'm like, you don't know them from Adam. Just because you insecure and can't get a girl looking like that, that don't mean that you need to be like typecasting the man into whatever, whatever, whatever. Like, just leave them. They're in love. They're together. Just leave them alone. You worry about you. Focus on you. You try to get somebody who you are attracted to and you like. Just forget about everybody else. Like, why are we so focused on putting labels of ugly and fat and rich and he must be this and have whatever, whatever, whatever in order to get a girl like that? Stop labeling people. Just live your life.
It helps you become external. It helps you focus on something else other than yourself and what is truly bothering you. And that's why it's easy to be superficial in society. And that is being superficial. Anytime you care about labels and you care about everything else externally except you and fixing yourself and minding your own business and drinking your water, anytime you care about anything else other than that, you are being a little bit superficial, yes. And you trying to avert or distract yourself with that. And by putting somebody else down, it makes them feel good. And that's why that exists. Because you know what? By me calling you're comfortable with you gardening out, that makes me feel better about me liking sports and being in a specific mindset. Because I think maybe me liking sports is linked to disrespecting women or a certain mold, because I realize people, some, not all, I'm not trying to categorize anybody, but a lot of men who want to fit that strong masculine and this kind of specific type of masculine role, like I realize a lot of them kind of disrespect women a lot, and they tend to reach to a point where they even cheat. And seeing people who are faithful and seeing people who are comfortable in certain things or doing certain things, even though they are still masculine or they are still man or whatever, that bothers them. And guess what? I had to pick at you because it will make me feel better about going down the road that I going down on, because I need to validate my existence of feeling like I am normal, so you are not normal. And that's not right, because they are just insecure in themselves and you are secure, and your security within yourself intimidates them. That's the truth.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. So let us know how you guys feel in the comments based on everything we discussed so far. You guys disagree, you guys disagree, please let us know how you feel and your experiences. And we're gonna do a short meditation soon based on everything we discussed and what it'll come across as whatever feels aligned for us to do it in that way. Not too sure who will do it, if it's Jared or Eugenia. Don't know, but yeah, we'll do that shortly.
A meditation?
Yeah.
I vote for Jared. I just did one.
All right, guys.
So
sorry.
sorry, we're gonna continue with the meditation. Jared is gonna lead it. So let Jared take over this time.
All right, thank you so much, Travis. So I just want everybody to, let's not put any specific label, to use the name of the episode. Let's not put any specific label on it. But I just want you, in your own way, to just take this moment for a moment of introspection. I want you to just think about your life and think about your goals and what you want to achieve. Who are you in your life? Is being you making you happy? And if you're doing this, if being who you are, if trying to achieve everything you're trying to achieve, if this is bringing you joy, then you do not need to prove your existence to anybody else. You do not need to fit into anybody else's description of what you should be. You are who you are, and you are who you are unapologetically. That is the only way to achieve acceptance. All right? So just sit down and focus on who you are. Take this moment, take this 5 minutes to just reflect on what you are, on what you bring to the table, and all of the good things that you try to achieve. All right, so just bring it to the forefront of your mind. Even if it's just one thing or two things, I would say try to aim for three. But if you can't, if you could only think about one, just reflect on that. Have a visual representation of it at the forefront of your mind. This is you, a picture of you. Alright, and with that vision, I want you to just sit back and let's take a nice deep healing breath. And when we breathe in, I want you to imagine breathing in bliss, happiness, a non-judgmental feeling of acceptance from above. Whatever you choose to associate with. Creator, source, God, Allah, any of your guides, even if it's a past relative, anybody who ever made you feel loved and accepted for being who you are. There must be somebody, even if it's a person you never met, somebody who makes you feel loved for being you. Just take a deep breath in and just imagine that healing energy coming your way. And hold it. And as you're holding it, just imagine that energy mixing with you, mixing with your essence. Feel the security, feel the empowerment, this feeling of I am okay. Being who I am is okay. Even if as soon as you leave this, you're going to go and face a situation that does not, this is your time. So take it in. Alright? Just hold that breath. Make it feel secured. And now release. And when you release, try to release all that toxicity from the outside world. Try to release anybody who says things to bring you down and make you feel like you cannot be this vision of you, or makes you feel ashamed for being this person. Release that. Release it and send it into the ether. Send it as far away from you as you can imagine it. Breathe out. Release. I'm gonna take 2 more deep breaths in. So this is the first of 2. I'm gonna repeat. So I'm gonna stay quiet for a while. Just gonna let the music play, but just do your breathing. Breathe in security, breathe out toxicity. Insecurity, out toxicity. I want you to remember anytime anybody tries to make you feel smaller, I want you just to have a quick dialogue in your brain. Does this resonate with me? Or is this person just projecting their own insecurities onto me? And when you have that dialogue, if you have the answer, if this resonates with you, then do some thinking about that. Do some digging on it. Pick up a pen, find some time, do some journaling, do some introspection. But if it does not resonate with you, release it. Just let the healing energy of love and acceptance take that feeling away. We spoke about clearing negative energy in an earlier episode. Allow the healing light of clearing to remove that from your presence. Your auric space is that field around you that shields you and protects you. You are safe in that space. Only allow energies that resonate with you to enter in. Don't allow anything else. So try to keep that space surrounded with healing and loving energy. I know it's difficult, but it's possible. So we're just going to do one more breath in and breath out. And in this one, allow the acceptance to flow and fill up that space around us, our auric field. And just feel secure in that space. Almost like you have a barrier around you. Fill it with as much love as you could possibly fill it with. Love and compassion and grace for who you are. Deep breath in. Hold it. Allow it to displace anything you don't resonate with. And as it's displacing, release. Save your space. Protect yourself. Now, let's rejoin the world, being guided and reassured that our auric space is clean and clear, our barriers and shields are up, and we are not associating with anything that we don't resonate with. Guys, your identity, your definition of who you are is up to you. Do not follow anybody else's definition unless you resonate with it. Do not let anybody tell you how to feel, who to be, who to love, how you should act, unless it's something that you resonate with. If need be, check in with Creator, or check in with Creator anyway, because He will always guide you in the right direction. Have a fantastic week, guys. I wish you all the best. Wish you all the best with dealing with the toxicity that I know is out there. Unfortunately, we can't get away from it sometimes. But try your best to always practice safe spaces and healing energies. Thank you, guys.
Hey, thank you so much for that, Jared. That was so beautiful, and I felt as though so much deeper work was going on there. I felt like there was so much unworthiness of releasing there, and it was so powerful, and I feel like I'm so grateful for that as well. For like my tribe, many members of my tribe will resonate with that. And the funny thing is as well that like that in itself is a label, because all we resonate with at the end of the day is energy, and it's like even putting a label on who is to resonate. We just resonate with energy, and like putting a label on the people who we're most likely to relate to is also a label, because people just, as long as we're putting out like good energy out there, people just relate to that.
Yeah.
So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let us know, like and comment if you enjoyed it, and have a wonderful week ahead. All right, thank you so much, and bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.